Hello, my lovely subscribers, my amazing cybernauts. You are welcome to another lovely episode on Centenary Energy channel. Are you a brand new subscriber? If you are a new subscriber, then I welcome you to my channel. This channel is called Centenary Energy, and we focus on energy, natural resources, and sustainable development law. Presenting to you today is my humble self, Barrister Egbe Eyon Akumbe, and this is my field of expertise. Today I want to present something that has to do with petroleum. Petroleum is one of the non-renewable natural resources which we have been talking about for a while now. Now, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, is a particular body that handles all countries that are into oil and gas. If any country is desirous of joining the oil industry, then that country has to be a member of OPEC if it is into the exportation of oil. Because whatever thing happens in the business of exporting oil, OPEC has a say. With that, I will start. Now, I want to look at how OPEC influenced Great Nigeria. Now, Nigeria was into the oil business long before 1970. Even as at 1960 something, Nigeria was already in this oil and gas business. Some communities have even been in this oil and gas as a source of their revenue for way over 50 years now. Now, because Nigeria wanted to get into the oil industry at the level of exporting their oil, they were compelled to be a member of OPEC. So they chose to join OPEC in 1971. They talked about it, they thought of it. However, one of OPEC's resolution and policy statements requires that they create a state oil corporation, a SOC, S-O-C. And so this SOC is the particular unit that is going to be used, or can I call it instrument? Good. That is going to be functioning with OPEC from that country. You remember, Nigeria had been in this world before, so they had their oil ministry. But because they want to join the exporting countries, they have to join OPEC. They now have to create a state oil corporation. The state oil corporation is a requirement of OPEC. In their resolutions and their policy statements, they say, if you want to be a member of OPEC, create your state oil corporation. Also, Nigeria in 1971, specifically in July, created the NNOC, Nigerian National Oil Corporation. 6 years later, they were like, okay, this Nigerian National Oil Corporation can't function on its own. There is an oil ministry, so they need to just make a merger so that they can function together. And so this merger brought about the creation of Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, in 1977. Now, this Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation had regulatory and supervisory roles over all activities that had to do with the oil world within Nigeria. And this means that it oversaw the activities of all IOCs, that's international oil companies. All those companies that were into oil and gas in Nigeria, whatever they had to do, it was the business of NNPC. So what was NNPC actually? It was a federal government agency. It was going to oversee the oil business all over the Federation of Nigeria. That was its role. That brings us to the understanding that for any country to join the oil industry, they should do two things. You create your state oil corporation, your SOC. You blend it to your oil ministry. Create something new, because they're going to function together. Create something new. Of course, you have to change the name to show that that merger has existed. And when that is done, that particular agency can now oversee the activities of all the oil companies found within that country. So this brings us to the end of how OPEC influenced Great Nigeria in the creation of NNPC. Now remember, NNPC actually functions as a federal government agency that oversees all the regulatory activities and supervisory activities of those IOCs that are already functioning within the territory. What exactly do you think will benefit any country that is into the creation or production of oil if they do not put themselves in order so as to be part of OPEC? What do they stand to lose if they are not a member of OPEC? Remember, this question comes because not every oil producing country exports that same oil. There are so many countries that have discovered that they have some serious oil rich deposits. Yes, they have this potential, but the question is, you have to know, is it commercializable? Because it's one thing to discover that petroleum, it's another thing to know whether it exists in commercial quantities. Because when it exists in commercial quantities, then it can and will attract foreign investors. And that is when you start seeing the multinational oil companies coming in, because they see that they are going to make money off this particular quantity of oil deposit found. This brings us to the end of our talk on OPEC. Hoping this topic was enjoyable. Hope to see you in my next episode. Bye.